is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live! It's time!
Hey, yo, what's going on, everybody? We are now live here for the Raw Rundown here on the Around the Point Network YouTube channel. It is Tuesday, February the 17th, 2026. I want to take this time to wish my older brother a very happy birthday today. I know he is going to be having a good time this weekend. All right. But, happy birthday to him. I hope he's enjoying himself. Love you, big bro. Hope to see you soon. But what's going on, everyone? I hope all of you are enjoying yourselves. As always, it is me. It is Steve. I'm back at it again. What up, y'all? How's your day going so far? I can't hear you, but I am so excited not only because today's my brother's birthday, but also my Real Madrid got the job done today. They got the win over Benfica in the Champions League. There was a little controversy there with Vinicius Jr. and some stuff that was said to him. That's soccer, unfortunately. And sadly, drama always seems to follow Vinny Jr. But you guys, I'm gonna be honest, none of you care about that right now. This is basically a wrestling show. But if you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button down below. Give this video a big old thumbs up. Share with all your friends wherever it is that you share your wrestling content on social media. And also, more importantly, hit that bell notification so you're notified every single time this channel goes live here on the Around the Point Network YouTube channel. Also, we're also live over on Twitch. We're also live over on Kick. If you're on either of those platforms, hit the like button, hit the follow button as well. It is very, very appreciated. If you have not checked out the content from yesterday, whenever you get a chance, when this ends, go back and rewatch Steve's Kitchen, where I gave my overall thoughts on AEW Grand Slam Australia 2026. I gave my thoughts on the show, also my thoughts on the Wrestling Observer Newsletter Year End Award 2025, and also some thoughts on WrestleMania ticket sales being low and Triple H being in the hot seat. So whenever you get a chance, go give that a watch. But let's get into the shall we? Raw last night was live from, let's see here. Raw was live from Memphis, Tennessee at the FedEx Forum. And overall, I'll be honest with you, the show was más o menos a little bit. I guess what do the kids call it today? 6'7"? Do the kids still say 6'7"? I don't know, but that's what the show was basically like, in my humble opinion. There are new entrants into the Elimination Chamber coming up real soon, and also we found out there is a giant box, a wooden box that arrived, and the question is, who's in the box, right? We're gonna open the box. They're gonna open the box, not me because I don't work there. But WWE is gonna reveal who's in the box on the day of Elimination Chamber. So many people are already putting their thinking caps and they're speculating on who it could be. I think that's good too because you want to have some thought of who it can be, right? Many people are saying Chris Jericho. Maybe it's gonna be Chris Jericho. Can you imagine this whole time, right? You're expecting Jericho, and instead you get Jinder Mahal. Just throwing a name out there. Imagine just the outrage on the internet if that were to happen. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Let me know your thoughts in the chat, whether you're watching live here on the YouTube feed, or if not, let me know in the comments on the on-demand version of this, the playback, if you will, your thoughts on who is inside the giant box that showed up on Monday Night Raw, and likely it'll also be on SmackDown because Adam Pearce did tell the person who I guess received the giant box to send it to SmackDown. It's Nick Aldis's problem. So we'll see where it's going to what's going to happen on Friday. But I think also it's important here to, say that it gives people a reason to watch the show. Yeah, granted, Chamber is Chamber. You're gonna get the two matches, all that you want, right? You're getting Punk and Balor, you're getting AJ Lee and Becky Lynch, right? But also you're gonna watch to see, okay, who's in the box, right? Is something to react and talk about all that stuff, and we'll see who it is. I hope it's not a letdown, but imagine like all of y'all expecting Chris Jericho, and instead WWE at the end pulls a surprise on you and is Jinder Mahal. Just saying, it's very, very possible. But like I said before, I thought Raw overall was meh, to be honest with you. Um, yeah, but let's get into the show. Let's get into the show because there's a lot of stuff that happened too, and including the sit-down interview between Liv Morgan that was interrupted by Stephanie Vaquer. It was interrupted by Stephanie Vaquer, and it got a lot of people to talk. It got a lot of people to give their thoughts. A lot of people, I will say, for the most part, are very mixed about it. Right? Social media is very mixed about it. There's some people who thought what Stephanie said was right. There's some people who felt that what Stephanie said wasn't right either. It's a mixed bag. It's a very, very mixed bag right now when you think about it on what Stephanie Vaquer said. It's a very, very mixed bag, right? Of people who loved it, who people who didn't love it. It is what it is, right? We'll get into this. And me personally, I'm gonna say this. I thought Stephanie Vaquer was in the wrong, in my humble opinion. Okay, this is lagging too much here. So what I'm gonna do real quick here, I'm gonna take quick precaution here. Wait a minute, what's going on here? My streamer is acting very funny right now, so I'm just gonna take precaution right now, if I can, and I'm just gonna put. There you go, much better. Because it's acting very strange right now. It's very laggy, and I don't know why. Let me see if I fixed it. There you go. We should be good now. So let's get into this. So the show opened up with the Usos, who were making their way to the ring, the tag team champions, and they were interrupted by the Vision during their entrance, by the way. Footage of the Masked Man was shown, when he attacked Austin Theory last week. And Adam Pearce came out to try to calm things down, right? Because he did tell Theory, hey, had you let me take care of this, we would have found out who the masked person is. And Heyman wants Bronson Reed to be inside the Elimination Chamber. And Pierce says that he has to qualify for a shot at the Elimination Chamber. And then this brought out LA Knight, who came out and says he hopes Reed is in the chamber. And all this set up a 6-man tag, because why the fuck not? It did. It was Logan Paul, Bronson Reed, and Austin Theory going up against the Usos and LA Knight. It's like every single week, and it reminds me a lot, like in AEW, you'll get the Death Riders versus the Don Callis family in these 6-man tags. And it's like, it's different members, but it's the same type of match. Here, it's like for the last month and change, we've been getting the Usos in the Vision with LA Knight. And at this point, it's like, bruh, can we do something different? Can we change it up? Can we please, for the love of God, change it the fuck up? The match itself, look, it was fine for what it was. It ended with Bronson Reed getting the pin. He pinned, I believe it was Jey Uso, right? He pins Jey Uso. Put it this way, the Vision pinned the tag team champions. So you want to believe, hey, they are next in line for the tag titles. And honestly, give them the tag title. Give the Vision the fucking tag titles. So when all this was happening, right, they were celebrating, right? And what happens? The Masked Man showed up and stomped Logan Paul on the announce table. This led the masked person to run out, go through the crowd, right? And they got people, they got the Vision upset, right? Got the Vision all angry. I get the feeling that what we got earlier with the mystery crate has something to do with the masked person as well. Who knows, right? For all we know, it could be that as well. It can involve the masked person, right? With the crate, but we'll see how that goes. But Adam Pearce, after this, right, he comes across a mystery crate that says do not open until February 28th. Do not open until February 28th. It has the thing on it, right? Do not open until February 28th. And Pierce says, ship it to SmackDown. And afterwards, we saw, and again, it's one of those things where the crate will be on both Raw and SmackDown. And I'm sure the GMs will have like a back and forth about this crate. What are they going to do with it, right? Oh, it's your mess. No, it's your mess. It's all this crazy shit, right? Just like them trying to sign Obafemi. And after this, Los Americanos, who are upset that they are not in the Elimination Chamber, right? And then Pierce says El Grande Americano can earn a shot. Because again, also factor in, El Grande Americano wants a shot at the Intercontinental Championship that's being held by Dominic Mysterio. Now, factor this in too. During the beginning of El Grande Americano, he had some sort of alliance with Dominic Mysterio. So it's kind of crazy now that he wants a shot at the title. Maybe something happened on AAA. I don't really watch AAA like that, but I know that El Grande Americano is a hot act in AAA. So there's that. But Adam Pearce said he'll have to earn a shot at the Intercontinental Championship. From there, we got the women's qualifying match for the Elimination Chamber. We had Asuka versus Bayley and Natty. And I'm not going to lie to you. Going into this match, I thought, okay, it was a fine match. Nothing to really, go crazy about here. But I literally thought Natty was going to get the win, right? A part of me thought so. Because she's this new persona, right? Or if not, Maxine Dupree would cost Natty the match, right? And maybe they give it to Bayley. But no. Instead, we had Asuka submit Bayley. The match itself, like I mentioned, it was a fine match. Nothing to really go crazy about other than the fact that Natty is now this dungeon student gimmick, right? Where she just wants to just fold people up and just stretch them out and just make people submit. So there was that. But yes, Asuka now advances into the women's elimination chamber. She joins the likes of Rhea Ripley, Tiffany Stratton, and now, of course, I believe, one second here. Just give me 1 second here, y'all. Give me 1 second. I want to make sure I get this right. Okay. I want to make sure I get this right. But basically, Asuka joins the likes of Tiffany Stratton, Rhea Ripley, and Alexa Bliss. She joins that group inside the Elimination Chamber. So we'll see how that goes. Look, it should be a fun match for the most part. But yeah, I literally thought they were going to give it to probably Bayley as well. So there was that. After this, Maxine Dupree did attack Natty after the match. So likely they're going to continue their program. No one's asking for this, but hey, there we are. We're getting it. From there, we saw Adam Pearce backstage talking with Obafemi. And if you remember on SmackDown this past Friday, Obafemi was offered a contract to sign with SmackDown by Nick Aldis. And it was interrupted by none other than Kit Wilson. And obviously, Pearce is trying to convince Obafemi to sign this contract with Monday Night Raw, to think about it. Don't sign it right away. Think about it, right? And Oba says he wants to take his time. And they go back to what I was saying a couple weeks ago. It's a smart move. You're going to see the GMs going out of their way, trying to sweet talk Obafemi to signing with their respective brand. And then Rusev entered the room and confronts Obafemi. If you notice, Rusev was wearing a Rusev Day t-shirt. Like people remember, I remember when Bobby Lashley was in that hotel room with Lana, but that's the story for a different day. Okay. That's what I remember. From there, we get to this sit-down interview with Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio. And we were under this impression that Liv Morgan was going to tell Michael Cole in this interview who she was going to face at WrestleMania, right? Who she was going to choose at WrestleMania. Was it going to be Jade Cargill? Was it going to be Stephanie Vaquer? We thought we were going to finally get this answer, right? And instead, that did not happen. Liv said that she is not going to rush her WrestleMania decision. And then she gets interrupted by none other than the women's world champion, Stephanie Vaquer. And she starts speaking in Spanish. And this probably got a lot of people upset that she spoke, not what she said, but the fact that she spoke in Spanish, in Espanol. Got a lot of people. I'll tell you what now, I can't take this no more, man. I can't take the fact that she spoke Espanol, man. It's a disrespect to American wrestling. I tell you what. That's probably what you heard people say on the television or on their social media platforms as it was happening. But basically, Dominic was translating to in Liv's ear, and this led to Liv Morgan to cry. But for those of you that were not aware of what she said, let me bring you up to speed in what she said, because I have it right here. And this is what she said in English. It's translated here. Did you say 10 years of hard work? Because Liv Morgan talked about how she worked hard for the last 10 years. And Stephanie Vaquer said, that's bullshit. You've sacrificed nothing. WWE gave you everything. The best training, the best medical. You were given everything. You want to talk about sacrifice? I was born in Chile, a country where wrestling doesn't exist. And now I've traveled all over the world, Japan, Mexico, Latin America, Europe, and I've conquered everything. You should be ashamed because you need to hide behind the judgment day. It's sad because you need to hide behind a man. But let me tell you something. I went through hell and made it mine. Everything I did was to get to WWE and become champion. This title for me means more than just a title. It's for all the little girls, all the women who never got the opportunity and overcome anyway. Liv, if you pick me, you won't win because I'm going to show you what a real champion is. That is what she said. And this led to Liv Morgan to proceed to crying. She started crying. And I'm going to say this. I know there's a lot of people out there who looked at the promo, who watched it, and were like, yeah, Stephanie, you tell her. I know that's right, sis. I'm here to tell you guys right now. I think, and this is my humble opinion, of course, I think Stephanie Vaquer was in the wrong. Hear me out. Look, no one is taking away what Stephanie Vaquer has accomplished. No one's taking that away, right? In fact, I commend her. I congratulate her for sacrificing a lot, right? All that stuff. I get that. Leaving your country of Chile to pursue this dream, right? Living in Mexico for so many years, going to Japan, going to Europe, wrestling in Latin America, right? Far away from your homeland, right? Sacrificing so many things to get to this opportunity, and you've made it. And that is awesome. I commend you. As a Latino, te felicito. I'm happy for you, mama. I'm happy for you, sister. And I'm not just saying this because, oh, Liv Morgan is my Rumble selection and I have to be her fan for a year. No, I'm not saying that because of this. I'm saying it because, at the end of the day, let's not sit here and pretend that Liv Morgan didn't sacrifice anything, because she did. Liv Morgan, for so long, has always been the bridesmaid, but never the bride, right? She never had her moment. Yeah, she was a former SmackDown champion, former women's tag team champion, right? Part of the Riot Squad, right? The list goes on, right? But let's not sit here and pretend that she didn't sacrifice nothing. At a time when, people were talking about Charlotte Flair and Bayley and Becky and Alexa Bliss, right? Oh, they're the ones dominating the division. They're this, they're that, of the future. Also in that discussion was Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan, who also sacrificed a lot of things. She left home. Like, bruh, she's from Jersey. Moved to Florida. Not many people, let me ask you this question. How many people do you know? How many people do you know that you grew up with, right? Whether you went to school with them, whatever it may be, that had to leave home. Had to leave home, go somewhere else. And when I mean home, I'm talking about the state, their city, to go live somewhere else far away, to accomplish something for happiness. And at first, when they get there, yeah, they're homesick. It's not the same. You don't know anybody, right? You got to accommodate yourself to this new environment. Liv Morgan had to do all that. So let's not sit here and pretend that, yeah, Liv Morgan didn't sacrifice anything. I get it. For wrestling fans, right? Oh, Stephanie Vaquer, she embraced the grind. Wrestling in CMLL, wrestling for New Japan Strong, wrestling in Stardom, tearing it up on the independents, right? There's a plethora of wrestlers in the industry that have gone through that, right? The list you watched them on television: Bryan, Owens, Sami Zayn, CM Punk, right? The list goes on. Claudio, right? Rollins. The list goes on of all these wrestlers who have gone through the independents, right? And traveled the world to make a name for themselves and to get to the opportunity that they're at today. And again, it's commendable. It is commendable. But then you have those who were just athletes, like Bianca Belair, like an Obafemi, right? Like a Jade Cargill, who did not have an independent run, didn't travel the world like your favorite indie darlings have in the past, but they made a name for themselves. So again, I commend Stephanie Vaquer for what she's accomplished, but she is so in the wrong for this. This promo, it basically made Stephanie Vaquer feel like a heel, feel like a real bitch. That's what it came off as. So now it's like you want me to gain sympathy for Liv Morgan, even though she's the heel. Like, you already are telling me where they're going to go with this. And honestly, it would make more sense, this whole thing, had Liv Morgan been the champion. Had Liv Morgan been the one holding the title right now, going into WrestleMania as the champion. And Stephanie Vaquer, who in this situation should have been the one challenging the champion at WrestleMania. Then you want to throw this on television? So be it. But right now, it just doesn't work. But what you're telling me is we're getting Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vaquer. Possible a double turn. We'll see. But again, Stephanie Vaquer is in the wrong. I do not want to hear differently. Let's move on. Boy, let's move on. After this, we saw CM Punk said the office is mad at him. He was in the ring, by the way. He says that the office is mad at him for jeopardizing the WrestleMania main event. He says Finn Balor deserves the beating he's going to give him at Elimination Chamber. He's mad. He's so upset. What's going on, Safet? Stephanie Vaquer shouldn't be begging the Rumble winner to pick her. What if Liv's crying is all a ruse? It's possible, but it just makes no sense. Like, why would, again, this would make so much sense if the positions were reversed, where Stephanie Vaquer was challenging for the title at WrestleMania. But instead, it's the other way around. So there's that. But basically, the office is mad at Punk. They don't want him to sacrifice Roman Reigns, CM Punk, which is the only match they have right now, by the way. And then this led to Finn Balor coming out. And he shows up with Dominic Mysterio, but also joining Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio is the returning JD McDonough, who all came out to confront Punk. And Balor says, to be the best in the world, you have to train with the best, survive the toughest dojos, and beat Roman Reigns on your first night, which he did. I don't know how many of you remember, but Finn Balor did beat Roman Reigns on his first night. I believe it was on an episode of Monday Night Raw. Yes, on an episode of Monday Night Raw. Balor says he's not jeopardizing the main event. He's making it better. And then Punk went on to say that the Judgment Day has dragged Balor down, calling out Dominic for never defending his titles and JD for having a big head. And then Punk turns his back and tells Balor to jump him. And then Balor holds JD and Dominic. He holds them both back as he leaves. And they were like, "What are you doing? Why did you not let us attack him backstage?" It's simple. Finn Balor realizes that yes, CM Punk is jeopardizing the WrestleMania main event, but also realizes, hey, if they attack him, yes, they'll have Finn Balor might have the advantage, but you're also jeopardizing his match at Elimination Chamber. So yeah, I can understand why he would not want JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio to not attack CM Punk. And many people are saying this is going to lead to Finn Balor becoming the good guy. Very possible. But I thought overall the segment itself, it was good for what it was. So from there, we got the Kabuki Warriors interrupting Riho backstage. Riho of Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, who were addressing Lash Legend and Nia Jax. Kairi says Asuka will win the chamber and be champion, and Asuka pushes Kairi out of the way. And Io tries to console Kairi, but Asuka calls her away. By the way, in case you guys don't know, next week on Monday Night Raw, by the way, also, on Monday Night Raw, it will be, I don't know if many of you were aware of this or not, but next week it will be Raquel Rodriguez versus Io Sky and Kairi Sane to see who will be inside the women's elimination chamber and joining the likes of Tiffany Stratton, Rhea Ripley, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka. So we'll see how all that goes next week on Monday Night Raw. And also on Monday Night Raw next week, it will be Bronson Reed versus Jey Uso versus the original El Grande Americano in the chamber qualifying match as well. That's happening also next week. Also somewhere in this, they played a tribute. Well, they announced that next Monday Raw will be in Atlanta, and they will be paying tribute to AJ Styles next Monday. Possibly Styles being at Raw next Monday. Could he be there? We'll find out that he's not retired and he's coming back, and we'll see. Many people are still speculating. People are saying that, he is going to, go in the Hall of Fame. Maybe it's possible they put him in the Hall of Fame. It's very possible. He deserves it. First ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt about it, right? Or maybe, just maybe, he works backstage, or maybe, just maybe, he comes out of retirement, right? He wants his job back. He wants to be reinstated, right? We'll see how all this goes. But after this, we saw we did see after this, right? Dominic, we saw a WWE Intercontinental Championship number 1 contenders match. It was El Grande Americano versus a mystery opponent, and it ended up being none other than Penta. And I will say this, I enjoy Rayo and Bravo and their tactics and the way they talk Spanish. I think it's hilarious. Okay? I take back what I said about them being these vandal, the degenerates who would hop over the barricade. I take it back. These guys are awesome. Okay? It's crazy because, bro, in Mexico, they are treated like rock stars. But in the States, they get booed, right? And what do you know? It looked like El Grande Americano was going to have the match won, but instead, underneath the ring, the OG El Grande Americano, the original Grande Americano, interfered, caused distraction, and just led Penta to get the win. So Penta is going to get a future Intercontinental Championship match real soon. Overall, I thought the match, for what it was worth, to be honest with you, it was okay. Nothing to really go crazy about, but outside of the fact that I do enjoy Rayo and Bravo Americano, I enjoyed them. After this, we saw backstage Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan leave. JD McDonough tells Finn that Punk is in his head And Finn says that if JD wants to help, he can leave him alone. JD and Finn walk off. Dominic says he still has a match. Like, where are you guys going? How come you guys not going to help me? From there, we saw AJ Lee. AJ Lee. She says she knows who the hell she is. She wants to wrestle people like Bailey, Lyra Valkyria, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, the Kabuki Warriors, the Judgment Day, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss. She said she used to fight for the Divas title, and it meant a lot to her. She said there was a women's division before here, and there would be one after her, and that was her gift. She said Becky has had a 10-year head start, and she's still trying to catch up. AJ calls out Becky Lynch, who obliges. And Becky says that she says this isn't going to be one last AJ Lee title reign, and that she's going to push her. She's going to push her at Elimination Chamber. Becky said she's been making history for 10 years, which she has, right? The first woman to win the first women's WrestleMania main event, double champion, women's Intercontinental champion, big moments, right? Main events, you name it. She has done that, right? Becky said AJ should write a comic about the time she faced Becky, because the comic would actually sell. AJ invites Becky into the ring to fight. AJ says she'll give Becky the first shot, and Becky gets in the ring. AJ begs her to hit her, and AJ puts her hands behind her back, just like CM Punk did early in the night. And Becky says she knows AJ's trying to get beat up, so she has an excuse at the Elimination Chamber, and she leaves the ring. I enjoyed this segment. Again, it's one of those things where, hey, AJ claims that Becky had his head start, 10-year head start, and she's still trying to catch up to AJ, even though Becky, like I mentioned before, has accomplished so much, right? In the time that AJ was gone, right? Remember, in the beginning, people were talking about Charlotte, people were talking about Sasha. You'll get Bailey, and then you'll get Becky. And then time went on, and Becky let people know what's up. And look where she's at now. So it should be a fun match for the most part. I do think Bailey does. My bad. Becky does retain. So we'll see how that goes. Backstage, we saw Paul Heyman, who wants Adam Pearce to do something about the Masked Man. And Pearce said the Masked Man is a problem for him as well. And Bronson Reed said he will solve the problem. He will solve it, right? He's not putting up. But like I mentioned before, next Monday on Raw, it will be Bronson Reed versus Jey Uso versus the original El Grande Americano. I am going to go here with Jey Uso. I think Jey Uso gets the win. I think the Masked Man once again shows up, causes the distraction. And who knows, maybe the other Grande Americano comes out and causes distraction. We have, again, for the women's, you have Io Sky versus Kairi Sane versus Raquel Rodriguez. Because Rhea's already in the chamber, I'm going to go with Io Sky. So there's that. From there, we got the main event. We had the Elimination Chamber qualifying match between Dominic Mysterio, Gunther, and Jevon Evans. Yes. Dominic Mysterio, Gunther, and Jevon Evans. That was your main event. Now, when you hear this, you think, oh, Gunther's going to get an easy win, right? This is easy. Shouldn't break a sweat, right? And I'll say this was by default the match of the night. No questions asked. They were going all over the place on the outside. Gunther was chopping the hell out of Dominic Mysterio, Jevon Evans, right? And it's, again, just a crazy back and forth. There's a moment, though, where it looked like Gunther was going to have this one, but then Dragon Lee shows up. Keep in mind, Dominic Mysterio was trying to use a hammer as a weapon, like the ring bell, like the hammer they used to ring the bell as a weapon, and Gunther stopped them. And then this led to Dragon Lee to show up and use the ring bell as a weapon on Gunther. If you remember a couple of weeks back, Gunther made Dragon Lee pass out. So this is retribution. And then it was basically up to Jevon Evans and Dominic Mysterio, where Jevon Evans picks up the win. He pins the Intercontinental Champion. So technically now, Dominic Mysterio, not only does he have to worry about, Penta, but also Jevon Evans. But also furthermore, Jevon Evans is now in the Elimination Chamber. I think also is factored this into what helped for me at least. I did not have to hear Jevon Evans speak on the microphone. Like, look, I said this before. I said it last week. I think Jevon Evans is talented. What I think what is his Achilles heel, his Achilles heel is his mic time. I don't need him to cut these promos and stuff, especially when they don't air on TV on the US. Like if you watch Raw on Netflix, using the VPN, right? If you put Canada or the UK, you get to hear these promos that he does, right? And it's, cringe. It is. But he's a phenomenal talent. He's going to have a bright future. He will have, I think, the breakout moment inside the Elimination Chamber. I think he will. He's someone to keep an eye on in that match on the 28th in Chicago. But also, he has a shot at the Intercontinental Championship by pinning the champion, right? So we'll see how that goes. But overall, like I mentioned before, Monday Night Raw, for me, was nothing to go crazy about outside of Stephanie Vaquer's promo in Spanish that got the IWC having a mixed reaction. Some people loved it. Some people thought it was but I'll leave that to y'all discretion, okay? Next week on Monday Night Raw, we're going to get an AJ Styles tribute. And who's to say, right? Who's to say this Lee, because what happened with Dragon Lee, this will, have AJ the urge to fight, right? To basically, avenge for his friend and all that stuff, even though Dragon Lee did cost Gunther the match last week. So we'll see. Also, next week on Raw, it will be Raquel Rodriguez versus Io Sky versus Kairi Sane to see who will be the last participant in the Women's Elimination Chamber. And then we have Bronson Reed and Jey Uso and El Grande Americano to see who will join the men inside the Men's Elimination Chamber. The one thing I hope doesn't happen is they make Jevon Evans Kofi Kingston 2009. Because there's talk that Brock Lesnar is going to be on Raw, I think, also next week, right? And there are discussions that he will probably qualify for the chamber or something like that. I hope that doesn't happen, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, if you have not checked out the other content on the channel, whenever you get a chance, go check out Steve's Kitchen, where I gave you guys my preview of AEW Grand Slam Australia. I also gave you guys my thoughts on the 2025 Wrestling Observer year-end awards. I gave my thoughts on that as well. All right, I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back on Thursday for Something About Dynamite, the post AEW Grand Slam Australia show, as we are on the road to Revolution, where you already know the main event. It's MJF versus Hangman Adam Page for the AEW World Championship. All right. Follow me on X at Heel Steven. Follow the Around the Point Network over on X at AT Point Network. If you have not yet, hit that subscribe button down below. Give this video a big old thumbs up. Share it throughout all social media. All right. Hit that join button to become a channel member. It's only $2.99 a month. All right. And that's basically it. Thank you guys for watching. Much love to all of you, for myself and the gang. This has been Steve's Kitchen here on the Around the Point Network. This has been the Raw Rundown here on the Around the Point Network. Peace out, y'all.